It's been described as the Jolly Green Giant, a tale of legends like the Sasquatch. But this white cat showed the world that cats with 9 lives aren't a myth and did the unthinkable by transforming into the GOAT. This won't be the last time I make a dramatic entrance, but for those still catching up, this video is about how Eminem, just like a cat, has always found a way to land on his feet despite falling a couple of times in his career. And if you're a huge Eminem fan, I suggest you subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications, cause there's many more like this to come in the future. Eminem is the most successful artist of the 21st century, going by the facts and global domination, but things weren't always looking up for Eminem, especially in the early days of his hip-hop career. But somehow, even when Eminem was a broke MC that couldn't afford to pay rent or buy furniture for his home, somehow he still found a way to land on his feet even when he was earning $5 an hour. And now we go back to the beginning to expand on this. Infinite released in 1996, and this is considered to be Eminem's first album. However, it wasn't signed under a major label at that time, so some still believe Infinite doesn't count. Regardless of how you feel about this, Infinite certainly didn't set the world on fire, and Eminem was criticized for sounding like AZ and Nas. You need to remember that before Infinite released, Eminem had already been active since 1989, so 7 years later, when he finally released his debut album, the fact that it turned out to be a commercial failure was devastating. Imagine the effects this failure had on the people around him, especially his girlfriend that had a baby for him. After going for shows and hustling gigs for 7 years, and when he finally dropped an album, it flopped. How do you explain this failure to your friends and girlfriend that has your baby? Most people at this point will give up, but not Eminem, and this marked the first time in Eminem's career that he made a comeback. The Slim Shady persona was born out of desperation, and Eminem even said that this was his last straw. If the Slim Shady EP didn't do it for him, there would be no Eminem today. Eminem was now Slim Shady, and coming in at second in the Rap Olympics was all he needed to gain the attention of the mighty DRE, and we all know how things turned out. Now Slim Shady was Eminem's first comeback, but critics will say this was just beginner's luck. Eminem was at the peak of hip-hop and went on hiatus after touring in 2005. Many fans didn't know what was going on, and the release of Quote & Core hinted at Eminem retiring. Eminem, after overcoming drug addiction, made a comeback with Relapse, but this wasn't met positively by fans and critics at that time, and Eminem once again was considered finished and washed up. Eminem's early days, filled with controversy, left a lot of critics salty, so to them this was payback. They believed that they were having the last laugh since Eminem was now done and dusted, until Recovery came out in 2010 and proved these critics wrong again. Remember that Relapse wasn't a flop and has actually sold over 7 million copies worldwide, which is more than what the likes of Carter Free sold worldwide, but for some reason, critics believe Eminem was done. Recovery doubled Relapse's sales in little time, and Eminem, that was believed to be on decline, had another spike in his career. This is now 2 comebacks for Eminem. If the first was a fluke, now he's done it again, but how far can Eminem push this luck? Revival released in 2017, and the tracklist reveal was enough for critics to call the album trash before it dropped, and regardless of how you feel about the quality of the album, at least you must agree that critics already made up their minds about the quality of the album even before it dropped. They certainly didn't give it a chance, and once again Eminem was considered done and dusted. Websites and YouTube channels that carry out social engineering pumped out articles and videos daily mocking Eminem and Revival, and many Eminem haters were loving this even more than a Big Mac. But history repeated itself again, and Kamikaze came out with a bang, and Ronald McDonald wasn't smiling anymore. Now Eminem has been at the brink of falling off 3 times in his career, but still managed to land on his feet, and the white cat has now become the GOAT. It can't be luck that's made him come back strong 3 times in over 2 decades, so this is definitely something Eminem has a talent for, and based on his track record, I'd hope critics keep hating on his albums. MMLP2 released with great reviews from critics, which was quite unusual, to say the least, and after that we got Revival, and since Eminem wasn't pissed off before Revival, the album was criticized for lacking the aggressive version of Eminem. We take the wait and see approach in 2019 since we can't say for sure what to expect, but Eminem has established one fact: he's been the most relevant rapper of all time for some time now. Thanks for watching, leave your thoughts below and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't.